searching, solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind, in the darkness all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be, for justice wheels keep turning, granted on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When these crime busters run, no victims left in vain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Credit fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Happy April Fool's Day, everybody. How is everybody here today? It is good to be back. The ice is gone. I've got my electricity back. It's a wonderful day. It was not a fun couple of days, guys. Oh, so yeah, been kind of keeping an eye when I could. I had a battery pack from when I went to Vegas. I bought one before we went to Vegas, and so I was able to recharge my phone and, put up my picture of Sebastian yesterday and stuff like that. But yeah, it wasn't fun without electricity, that's for sure. Hello, Ginger Girl. Good to see you. I realized that I was lost. I didn't know what to do with myself. Not having my YouTube. Oh my goodness. It was crazy. But so I was trying to get caught up on things this morning. One of the first things I saw was well, we all know that the reward went up to $447,000 from at night, right? That's awesome. That's awesome. Let me take my headset off here. Okay. You're still cleaning up down trees and branches here. Yeah, we are too. In fact, it's going to be a few days. There's too many down and not enough people to clean them up here. I think there's still people without power here. It's crazy. That kind of weather, and it's weird that it extended all the way up into Canada. My goodness. Yeah, no worries. When I got up, and saw that picture that I shared on my post, well, I can pull it up again. That was right outside my bedroom window. And seriously, if you think about it, show you. Those trees are huge. They're big. So this is on the second story. You can kind of see I'm even higher than the house next door, the White House, right? That is a huge branch that tore apart their fence. And there were trees all down in the front. Off to the left is the front of the house. And there were more trees down, like underneath where this picture is. And on the right, toward the right bottom, that's another big tree, just like the one on the left. So I don't know if these two trees are just dead. I need to really look at them closer. Odd thing is that Brenda Jo had them all trimmed this past summer. So yeah, and you can kind of see the ice on the trees back there. But yeah, it wasn't good. It's kind of scary, especially when I looked out my window and I saw all that damage. I was like, oh my gosh, it could have come in my bedroom window. It's kind of scary, but nope, I'm all right. The good Lord was watching over me. It's good to see you, Canine. Yeah. Well, I had never seen, oh, never happened to guy. Yeah. Right? Yeah, you don't realize it and you don't go anywhere. I mean, all the stores, the gas stations were shut down. Everybody was without power. And it went, I mean, this power outage went, Rhinelander is 45 miles away from me, and they were down. So, I mean, it was a huge amount of people. The first outage report was 58,000 without power. Yesterday, I don't know, around noon, it was like 40,000 without power. So, I mean, they were working on it, but yeah, it was crazy. And I have really bad osteoporosis, so there was no way this woman was walking out the door. Yeah, no way. So yeah, but Brenda Jo called. She's got somebody coming to take care of the trees and things, and so Lacey just goes outside and kind of walks around them. But yeah, it's really interesting. Really interesting. Kind of an eventful couple of days. But I realize that I'm not ready for any kind of disaster. I need more candles. I only have one candle. I need more food that I could eat out of a can, right? I do have a gas stove, so I could still cook if I needed to. Um, so that was a plus, right? But yeah, I just needed to really be better prepared. Um, and that's the truth, Canine. When you've never experienced it, and then all of a sudden you're seeing it, it's bad. But I've lived in the north most of my life, so you know this is one of the worst ones, though, especially this time of the year. Um, you know, you're talking. We were talking late, end of March. That's crazy. That is just crazy. So, I mean, I hope spring is coming. So, this morning when I was trying to get caught up, and this afternoon, I saw that At Night put out a couple of posts. So I'm going to share my screen. So this one says, we urgently implore the public to stop spreading unverified speculation and rumors, particularly surrounding the alleged 3 a.m. car impoundment tied to Sebastian Wainwright Rogers' disappearance. As of now, there is no verified evidence or official confirmation from law enforcement supporting this narrative. The search for 16-year-old Sebastian, missing since February 25th, 2024, after leaving Texas Roadhouse in Hendersonville, Tennessee, remains a top priority for At Night, at the bounty hunter, and Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers. However, unconfirmed claims like the 3 a.m. car rumor create chaos, divert critical resources, and risk derailing the investigation. This not only delays progress, but also causes profound distress to Sebastian's family, who hold on to hope that he is alive and waiting to be found. We understand the public's concern and desire for answers, but sharing unverified information on social media or elsewhere can have devastating consequences. Misinformation wastes time Sebastian may not have, and muddies the path to justice. Official updates will come directly from law enforcement or authorized partners. If a development as significant as a vehicle impoundment incurs, it will be announced through verified channels, including Sumner County Sheriff's Office or Tennessee Bureau of Investigation or the FBI. What you can do instead, refrain from posting or sharing unverified claims, including the 3 a.m. car rumor. Report any direct first-hand information to the official tip lines, and they give all the information. Let's honor Sebastian's family by staying focused, respectful, and united in the pursuit of truth. The $447,000 reward for credible information leading to Sebastian's safe return or the arrest and conviction of those responsible remains active. Every second counts. Let's not waste it on noise. Guys, I have to agree. It can be really easy to get caught up in the noise, right? I'm not saying, whoever shared this information was wrong, especially if they had what they thought was a credible tip. I get it, right? But those kinds of things, that detail is pretty important about the 3 a.m. car being impounded. That's a really key piece of information. And in my opinion, unless I had information that it came from law enforcement, I'd be afraid to share it. But what's done is done. We can only move forward, right? Your whole car was encased in about 3 inches of ice. Yeah, I didn't even look at mine because, with the osteoporosis and my surgeon saying my bones are mush, there's no way that I was even going to take a step outside. This just wasn't happening. I don't need to be dealing with broken bones. Yeah. Saw a post in someone's chat a bit ago, and all of a sudden it blew up. People swearing it was verified. Yeah, we need to be really careful about that stuff. It's, if Ad Night is telling us to be careful, they're the ones that put out the TRH video, all that stuff. If they're telling us to be careful, we need to be careful. Now they did. No broken hip for you either. That's right. It isn't worth it. It isn't worth it. Gosh, I'd just stay inside my cozy little apartment and I'm fine. I am going to share this tab that they put out an hour ago. Okay. They put this out an hour ago. And it said, this does not imply its veracity or falsity. It is merely a matter that should be entrusted to law enforcement authorities. So, and that was after their statement, which again is right below that I read to you earlier. So again, this does not imply its veracity or falsity. It is merely a matter that should be entrusted to law enforcement authorities. So in other words, what they're saying, guys, is that does not mean it hasn't been impounded. It doesn't mean that it has not been impounded. It just means that needs to be left with authorities. They had also put out something about sharing false sightings, that kind of thing. So, I want to apologize because I showed that video of that kid on TV and questioned whether it was Sebastian, right? And I guess that's very true that it can get people excitable, that kind of thing, right? The other thing that it could do is if it is Sebastian, then they could move him very quickly instead of him being found, right? So I guess what it all boils down to, guys, is that we need to let police do their job, right? We aren't police officers. We aren't police detectives. We aren't FBI detectives. We aren't TBI detectives. We aren't official investigators. And it's not up to us to determine what is valid evidence and what is not valid evidence. We can look at what law enforcement has deemed as valid evidence and speculate on what happened, but we cannot look at possible evidence and say it is, and then get the rumor mill going. It only harms everything. Hello, Melissa. Hi, everyone. I was skeptical about being impounded. Um, yeah, I didn't even hear that until a little while ago. So, hello, Sam. Good to see you. So, I mean, I didn't even know about it until a little while ago, but and like I said, I'm not cutting anyone down for having talked about it, especially if they thought they had um a valid source, right? Um that just shows you the amount of responsibility that is on the creators when we get information, right? um how careful we have to be with it, right? um and really use good judgment. you know any of us can make mistakes. We're only human. Wow. My screen just blinked. See, it came back on all on its own, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay. Right. Ginger, you bring up a really good point. There could be a child who is in danger, so we need to be cautious. Cautious. Hello, Noni. Good to see you. Am I not here? Can you hear me all right? My screen was blinking on and off, and I was wondering what was going on with it. You guys hear me okay? Okay. Awesome. So I must have blinked off, huh? That is really strange. Maybe maybe the internet is sketchy here because of all the ice we've had. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. All right. I could still see you, so if it happens again, let me know, okay? Because I could still see you. I was still talking. So, anything else good happened while I was gone for 2 days that I maybe have missed? Oh, I went really quiet. That's weird. Yeah, I didn't move anything. Huh, that's odd. Am I louder now though, Sam? I haven't changed anything, so I just want oh, you did say before you could hear me. All right. So yeah, other than I don't know if you guys were aware, but what Katie's relative has made an appearance on the obstacle side now. Good. Yeah. Yeah. The court documents I'm kind of staying away from because it really doesn't have I'm not going to say nothing to do with Sebastian's case, but I just really feel like it takes away from him, right? And the focus being on him. Um, I mean, even Seth didn't talk about him, right? Of course, I don't think he can, but he didn't talk about him either, right? And so, and nothing against um, Crime Time Buzz or Mr. and Mrs. E going over him. You know, that's fine. It's a lot to read. And I didn't feel, it's already been out there. So I don't feel the need to be going over it again with you guys. Yeah, I didn't mute. That's weird. That is really weird. Yeah, a lot of us have been going through weird things, right? Um, Ginger dealing with Ginger's girl, you with your beloved pet um, leaving you so soon. Um, and the stupid weather we had. I don't think I've taken 2 days off in a year, guys, at least. It was really strange for me. Very strange for me to do that. You fell asleep while listening to him. I could see why. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to make something so dry be interesting. Yeah, they start blending a bit. Yeah. Yeah. And let's face it, court documents, um, court papers, court records, dry as dry can be, right? I mean, there's no making them exciting. There's no making them more interesting. It just doesn't happen. They're dry. Um, I have no interest in going over them. Um, the other thing I've noticed is people are still playing, reviewing interviews and stuff, and that's another thing I don't see the need in doing because we've looked at them in different ways, but I think we've exhausted every way we could look at them behavior-wise, statement-wise, and from several different statement analysis, right? Um, you know, I'm just kinda over watching all the interviews. If something new came out, maybe, but, it would depend on where it was seen. Um, like I said, Yada came out and was talking, just a little bit ago. I don't know if she's still on, but with one of the obstacles. And if you remember, Yada is, I believe, a second cousin to Katie or something. She had talked to Bullhorn Betty in the beginning, but something made her switch over. I don't know what, but again, um, you know, you have to question why. Why would somebody go on and can you okay. Okay, good. I just changed it up, so I'm hoping it's gonna work fine now. I think my one input is weird. No, it's not my April Fool's joke. Oh goodness. That's funny. Okay, so she is still talking very foolish. Why did she put that post on Facebook and say those things about Katie and now change her mind? Yeah. And see that's the thing. Why why would she do that? Say that, she came on Betty's and guys, I encourage you to go and watch Betty's interview with Yada. Um, she she had questions, right? She had questions about Katie. She felt bad for Seth, and now all of a sudden she is completely flipped to the other side, and she's going after Seth and Tony, and yeah, and then Chris popped up on panel, and so it was ugly, guys. But I don't understand why do people do that? If you here's my thought. When I go into a case and I'm looking at it, I reserve what I'm thinking until evidence starts to add up pointing to somebody, right? And in this case, I looked at all three parents as being, I remember the first interview, I felt bad for Chris and Katie, mainly Katie. Um, And so, you reserve your thoughts, your judgment and everything until evidence starts coming out contrary, right? And that's what happened here, is that things started looking very suspicious on the Proudfoot side, and you can't help but wonder what's going on there. Since I came to that decision, my feelings have never changed, right? My feelings have never changed. So how how does a person do that? How do they go on a live and say all this stuff, and then all of a sudden they're switching over to the other side? Yes. Triggering, wasn't it, Melissa? Yeah. She thinks it's okay for an RSO to be around kids supervised. Yeah. Well, guys, what are your thoughts? Do you think an RSO should be around children, even if there are other adults around? If it's told her not to be around children at all, period. I mean, they can't even be around schools and stuff, guys. So tell me if you disagree with me, please, that's okay. We can agree to disagree. Um, but tell me what you think. Do you think Yeah, they brought everyone's attention. They did, right? Hello, Tam. Good to see you. Never. You never think that it's good for an RSO to be around. I agree. Yeah. If the child thinks that no, that person, they would be easy to pick up. Exactly. I mean, especially at a funeral, there's people walking around doing different things. I mean, um, at the visitation type part of it, be very easy to lure a child away, wouldn't it? I agree. I agree 100%. The RSO, no matter who that child is to you, which in this case it was her grandson, needs to obey the orders of the court, period. They want to go back to jail? I mean, seriously, do they want to go back to jail? Oh, and we're happy to have you here, Tam. So, yeah, your mom told me to pick you up. Yeah, those kind of things. Um, you know, if this was a grandmother, maybe she knew that Sebastian liked puppies or kitties. You want to come out to my car and see my puppy? I've got him out there. That's all it would take, wouldn't it? That's all it takes. Entice the child with something they like, right? I just think that's wrong on so many levels. Yeah. Grooming is a thing. Yes, it is. It only takes 2 seconds to lure a child somewhere. I mean, seriously, entice them with something, and there you have it. They're off and running. Um, so yeah, I don't know why she thinks that that's okay, because it's definitely not. Um, did Sebastian have a right to be at his great grandpa's funeral? Yeah, he did. But if Sebastian was my child and I knew that that person was going to be there who is an RSO and is not supposed to be around children, I'd either, well, I just wouldn't bring my child. I just wouldn't bring him anywhere around it. Yeah. And that's a problem. I think Sebastian had been FaceTiming her. From what we're hearing, alleged guys, okay. Um, this was a while back, like in 2017, I don't know. A while back anyway. Um, so oh, no, it was later than that. But anyway, Sebastian was around 7, I think what they said. So I don't know if he knew his grandma yet at that point or not. Doesn't really matter. Yeah. He was young. He wouldn't have really, right, because he hadn't been around that side of the family as far as we know, right? Um, Katie pretty much stayed away from that side of the family. I mean, think about it. They lived in Virginia, and Seth and Katie, Sebastian lived in California, right? And the grandpa's funeral was when she was still with Seth. And Seth had said that he was had a FaceTime call with Katie, and then Sebastian got on and he could see Katie's mom behind Sebastian in the room. So that's why he got upset. I'm glad you brought that up, K9. That's really true. It's more often than not, it's family and not a stranger that abuse kids. Very true. Very true. And I believe it was family that got this RSO on the problem in the first place, if I'm not mistaken. It's very hard to find. I have tried to find information on that and cannot find it, which is fine. It doesn't help Sebastian's case, so the main point here is that I have to question what Yeda is doing, right? When she was interviewed with Betty, I gave her kudos for coming out and talking, because I knew it had to be hard for her to go against family. Why all of a sudden is she turning tables? What is going on? But yet Chris and Katie still don't want nothing to do with her. So I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't know, maybe she was threatened. We don't know. But I don't understand the reasoning behind what she did, why she did it. Sam says, I worked as a dinner lady in a school, and the kids would try to tell where they lived, and I'd be like, you don't give details to strangers. You might think we're not strangers, but we're not your family. Yeah, that's true. That's really true. It's so true. You never know what's going on, right? Behind this, yeah. And kids, unless they're taught, they don't know better. The world is so different today. Honest to gosh, I would never. It bothers me that my grandbabies are growing up in this world, um, because you can't trust anyone, it seems like, out there. There's so much danger, right? There's predators on the street that are looking to grab kids for sex trafficking, for labor trafficking, just to have their way with them. Not to mention, you know, perverts in the family, right? Because it is mostly family that SA comes from. Um, there's just dangers out there. I I just did a video this morning on a school where 20 staff members have been charged with child abuse, harming children at a school. 20 staff members from the same school, guys. What's happening to our children? Why are we not protecting our children? Hello, AMC. Ginger says, if you haven't heard of the Joe Clyde Daniels case, I suggest you check it out. I just watched a trial and it was interesting to see how the TBI works and collects evidence. I've watched parts of it and it is good. And there are a lot of similarities to Sebastian's case. AMC says car is not impounded. It was a rumor. Not necessarily. Because let me share my screen again. See if it'll work right this time. At Night put out a thing about the car, but it also right after that they put, this does not imply its veracity or falsity. It is merely a matter that should be entrusted to law enforcement authorities. So they're saying it doesn't mean it's not necessarily true or that it's false. It's just a matter that should be entrusted to law enforcement authorities. So, guys, we don't know if it's true or not. Okay? All I know is none of the family is showing any loyalties to Sebastian. They only care about themselves. None of that side of the family, I guess. I honestly believe that Seth is showing constant loyalty to Sebastian, but I think you mean that side of the family, if I'm not mistaken. I'd imagine she's probably receiving pressure from family, not to mention crazy people on the internet probably making threats. You know, that could very well be Noni. She's probably scared for her life and her family's safety. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it didn't take much. $100,000 hit on Nick, Dog, and Hong. So, you know, if they can scare a family member into quiet silence, except that she didn't go silent, did she? Now she's over on the other side talking. It's like, shut up already. I'm sorry. Just shut up. You know, what are you doing? You know, especially if your thoughts and your opinions can change so easily, then maybe you need to be quiet, right? I'm just saying. It's scary toward what it used to be. I worry about my kids going to school. I know. I I worry about my grandbabies. I just worry about them so much. Um, yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. And I've never let my kids sleep out at my best friend's family because you never know if their partner is like that. Um, I guess nowadays, yeah, you could be scared, right? Um, I let my kids have sleepovers. Um, I have to say that the people they selected as friends were good family. Um, but it's true. You don't know who you can trust. You don't know who's in that household. That could be an issue. That could have a problem, right? You don't know that. AMC, goodness sakes. You don't believe the flashlight video. I do. I'm sorry. We can agree to disagree on this one because I believe the car exists. My first kid, I would keep him off school if anyone was mean to him. He warned all my other kids, "Don't tell mom anything about school." Yeah. Yeah, that's sad. That's really sad. Hello, Poppy Love. Good to see you. Hello, Chemistry Queen. Yeah, that's what I thought. I knew you well enough to know that. I just didn't want anybody to take your comment and think you meant the entire family because I believe that S- Seth is, yes. Seth got the awareness on YouTube. He hasn't let it be brushed under the carpet. Um, I don't think that Chris and Katie expected that, right? I don't think that they expected his positivity and his drive to find Sebastian to take off like it has and to be as big as it is, right? Yada came out because someone who shall remain nameless spoke about an RSO in the family. So she's defending the RSO now, right? Whatever. Yeah, the family probably did fall out with her after what she said. But when she said it on Betty's, tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but I believe she said she didn't care because what was important was Sebastian. She didn't care if the rest of the family got upset with her. I believe that's what she said. Yes, chemistry, it is scary nowadays. It's awful. There seems to be several creators sounding like they're having second thoughts about CP and KP starting to step away from everything they've been saying against Seth. Interesting. Um, yeah, I have kind of seen a little bit of that too. Um, I don't know. Is it possible that they know something in the background that we don't know? I'm just saying, you know, I believe that, you know, um, the cash bashing was going on, bashing for cash behind the scenes, and, I don't know if something, you know, some kind of truth reared its ugly head and made them realize what's going on. I don't know, but it's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I heard that too, AMC, that she and the PI, who is no longer on the case, went down to TRH and demanded the footage. Um, that's something I heard. I don't know if it's true. I, you know, I'm never gonna, I'm never gonna tell you something that I don't know for sure that I can't provide receipts for. I think you guys know me well enough by now to know that I'll provide receipts if I have something. They didn't expect to be caught on that camera. It only picked them up because it is a wired camera, and a wired camera can't be jammed. Probably, right? Probably. Puppy love, I have to keep reminding myself that Ellie has no suspects in this case. I didn't like hearing about CPS reports. Well, I don't know about that, Ginger. We don't know who the suspects are, but I would not go as far as to say that they don't have any suspects, because I think they do. That's why the car turned the corner to probably jam the camera. It could be. Do you think that's why they drove up Kellen and back down again? To jam the cameras? Yeah, she said she didn't care. That's what I thought. I could have sworn she did. That's a good point too. Could be the RICO, and now it's costing them a lot of money, right? um, the thing is, what they said and what's included in the RICO is already out there. They can't, even if they turn tail and go the opposite direction, it's a little bit too little, too late for them now, Sam, in my opinion. They kicked off at TRH. I heard that was from Nicker at night. Um, I don't think they put anything specific out there, but I mean, I think they let it be known that that's a possibility, a handoff that night, which it still could be. But then you got the flashlight video, and why did that happen? Too much drama in this case. There is. And guys, it's all a distraction from finding Sebastian, right? It's a distraction. I mean, was this another thing? Was it planned? You know, for, I mean, I don't know, right? I think it was even said in that video where Yada was today that that was all like an April Fool's joke. I mean, you got Chris coming up on panel, so yeah, what? right? Yeah, I think they have suspects. They're just not telling us they have suspects. Yes, up and down calendar black cameras. Yeah, I can go with that theory. I think LE definitely have the persons of interest. Now, what the DA is willing to go to a trial with, that's a whole other issue. I agree with you 1,000,000%, Noni. um, because it's up to the DA to take the charges and do what he will with them. And if he's not going to charge anybody, he's not going to charge anybody. And it wouldn't be the first time. AMC, we don't know what to believe anymore. Well, here's what I know. Okay. I know that Sebastian didn't have on any shoes, right? He's gone. I know that he didn't walk out of that house because there's no evidence that he walked out of that house. There's no scent trail, there's no footprints, there's nothing that he walked out of that house. Even the sheriff that died said the same thing. Law enforcement is still backing that statement that a child did not walk out of that house. The 3 a.m. flashlight video shows two subjects walking to a car that pulled up. Okay. That's what I know. You mean the video today, orchestrated chaos, Ginger? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I know. And if you think about it, it's scary and eerie at the same time, Sam. It's scary and eerie at the same time. And I sincerely think about that. Think about how he said that. What does he know that he would say that? So if he said that, he had to realize after the fact that that could put suspicion on him. Is he going to be the one? You know, he's got loose lips. Is he going to be the one to end up talking in the long run? I mean, I don't know. Well, that could very well be AMC that she took him somewhere. I do believe I don't think she took him anywhere. I think she had him taken somewhere. But here's the thing. She called him in as a missing child. So, irregardless if she knows where he's at, she could still be in trouble. Huge, big trouble. Do you know how much money was spent? How much money is being spent on this investigation? Think about that. She's in huge trouble if that's the case. Yeah. Sam, I'm going to encourage you to go and do some research on the DA in that county. It won't take you long to figure things out there. Yeah. Does he have a new identity? Could very well be. Twice now I've fallen asleep during the reading. and I've wanted to listen to it too. Um, I actually would like to get a hold of the documents if I could, so that I could read through them myself at my leisure and take my time. Um, because I don't have the time to sit and listen. No, the rest of his clothes were there from what I understand. Yeah, false reporting, but I think there's probably all kinds of things that she could get in trouble for. Not to mention she would be held responsible for the costs of the investigation as well. If Katie did that, bad move on her part. Really stupid move on her part. But we don't know that that's what she did. The only thing we know is that he's gone, right? Yeah, I will at some point. I'll ask somebody to get him for me. But yeah, it's something that I'll read through on my own time. Um, but I do not understand all the drama in this case. I think it was AMC that said that, right? Um, it it hasn't solved anything. I think if anything, it's hurt the investigation, right? Think about all the stupid leads that are being called in. Guys, people are calling the police for idiotic reasons. And, I'm sorry if you hear a creator saying, um, you know, call the police for this or call them for that, or, come on. You, you can't, right? The credible tips need to be emailed. You know, we we have to be careful because we can hurt. We can be responsible for Sebastian being harmed because it's taking them so long to get through all the false tips that they can't get to the real one, right? We have to be seriously careful. Have to really seriously be careful of that. Um, if anything, here's what I will tell you guys, and I did it. Let me pull it up. Um, Seth on his community page put all of the highway patrols, the state police, that kind of thing, for all the different states. And there's like 9 in each post, okay? So like if you put select read more, I want to make sure you guys are seeing this, okay? You hit select read more. You can see where they give the phone number, they can give the address. If there's an email address, it'll be there for each state. Now, what I did was I Googled for my state. So it would have been this one, I believe. Wisconsin. Yeah. Okay, so right here, was Wisconsin, and I saw that there were no email addresses given. So what I did was I looked up Wisconsin State Patrol, got their email, um, and then sent them Sebastian's flyer. No, Ginger, I didn't. Oh, okay. I will. So I sent them Sebastian's flyers. I sent it to all of the rest areas and asked them to put it out there. Um, I was trying to think outside of the box because flyers to State Patrol, Wisconsin State Patrol, every state patrol, and to the rest areas in that state. How important is that, guys? Right? So that's what I did, and each one of us could do that. Each one of us could do that. Take your state and go ahead. But like Ginger said, he wants us to post where we sent the info and the flyers to. Um, I heard a creator saying he was took in a box and he's now in a shabby van with a man and a woman. She sent it to Ellie and it was from a dream she had. Now, here is a really clear example, guys, of what I'm saying. Idiotic things that the police are having to go through. Now, can you imagine? Can you imagine? At least this one, they don't have to really, but they had to take the time to read it, right? I'm surprised she didn't have the license plate number or some dumb thing to go along with it. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. The kinds of things that law enforcement has to sift through in order to maybe find a real tip, right? And because of this kind of garbage, a real tip could be lost. Yeah, and I mean, he put them out there for every single one, but then we can go our extra. I went the extra mile to Google and find the email address for the Wisconsin State Patrol, right? And for the rest stops and sent Sebastian's flyers because I want to do what I can. Yeah, I may be a 66-year-old granny sitting here in my apartment in Wisconsin, but I can help. But let's help in productive, conceivable ways, guys. We can't take matters into our own hands, right? We can also take flyers out in our community, right? Check to see that Sebastian's flyer is still up in Walmart in your area. If it's not, ask them to please get it put back up. Continue to put it up all over your area. If you go a month later and see that it's taken down, put it up again, right? It's been a year. And if Sebastian's being moved around, he could be anywhere, especially on main highways. I live on a street that is a main highway for our state. And yes, they have to come right through my town and right past my house, right? So, anything that we could do, any place, any businesses that they might stop into, Quick Trip gas station is huge. Things like that. Travel stops, pilots, those kinds of things. anywhere around you that you think that somebody that was traveling main highways, maybe not even main highways, right? But we have to use, you know, our imagination and think, where could they be? Yeah, a dream. That's horrible. That is horrible. um, I can't believe it. And we've had a lot of different psychics giving different locations and all this other stuff, and um, it's a distraction without a valid lead, guys. That's what it is. Um, I'm not saying some psychics haven't been right, and you know, but I know that there have been some searchers that have looked where psychics have told them, and they didn't find Sebastian. So there's some that have been wrong as well, right? So we just need to be careful about when we're calling law enforcement. We need to be really, really careful, because it's not our goal is to find Sebastian, and flooding law enforcement with false tips is not helping anybody. Putting out false information is not helping anybody. Yeah, keep the awareness going. Talk about them at work if you work, right? Friends, family. I was just talking to my sister in Kentucky. She lives in a completely different state than me. That was where the last possible sighting of Sebastian was. I asked her to keep her eyes open, sent her a picture, sent her the flyer, the newest flyer of Sebastian. Her sister-in-law works in emergency department, and she got her that information. So you never know, right? I didn't know her sister-in-law worked for emergency personnel. See, right there, you never know what lead there could be, right? We don't know where Sebastian is, guys. He could be in Wisconsin. He could be in Canada. He could be in Mexico. He could be back in California. He could be anywhere, guys. We do not know. That's a good point. Seers need to follow their own visions before contacting Ellie. Yeah. If they're gonna say that he's a certain place, then they need to go and check that out themselves, and before they contact law enforcement, right? I'm just saying, and then if they're right, they're right. But maybe take someone with them if they're afraid that they could be, I guess that could be a little bit of a tricky situation if somebody had a vision that they saw Sebastian in a certain place and then they find him. The police are going to say, "How did you know he was here?" Right? So it could be a little tricky. They could figure that out. They could take someone with them, say, "Hey, I had this vision. Will you go with me?" Something like that. But either way, yeah, they need to check it out on their own before they go to the police with things. But so I encourage you guys, if you're willing to do that, Seth has provided on his page, go back to the posts. He's provided the new flyer right here with even the newer picture that he's provided. I haven't even taken that picture off myself yet. But he's got the flyer right here, guys, that you can use. And or if you need it, let me know. I'll send it to you, email me. And all the states are in these 5 posts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 posts. So I think there's like 9 on each page. So first one starts with Alabama, goes up to Idaho, Idaho up to Michigan, Michigan up to New York, and then down to the W's. But yes, everything is right there for you, okay? So that's right. It's not fair giving Seth false hope. This is true too. Law enforcement has very limited resources for finding missing children. So we have to be careful not to send them on wild goose chases and deplete the resources. It's very true, guys. If you think about the fact that every 40 seconds a child goes missing in the United States. Law enforcement is so flooded with missing children's cases that if they make those a priority, which they try to, because missing children, that's our future, right? Then the other crimes are kind of put on the back burner. That's not right. So, I guess if there's a theme to today's live broadcast, it's please don't flood law enforcement with false leads, guys. Check them out, make sure they're 100%. If you think it's a positive lead, a valid lead, I would say make sure that no one else has, reported it. If you heard it from someone, make sure they didn't report it. Oh, yes, AMC. Yep. RSOs have to register everywhere. You know that their address, anything. You can see it. It's online. You can check any state, anything. Seth put a lot of work into his separating the states and listing places to contact. It probably took him lots of courage to do that, never knowing what people from the obstacles might do. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If someone does get a credible lead, keep it to yourself. Only share it to law enforcement, because that's right. You put it out there and it gives them a chance to move Sebastian. We don't want that to happen. I will tell you that I don't want if I had a solid reason, a solid sighting, I wouldn't be sharing it on my channel, guys. As much as I want my channel to grow, I'm not going to do that, because I will not put a child's life in danger. There's no way. So good point, Sam. Good point. And you guys, if you do think of something and you send the flyers in your state, I guess go underneath and let Seth know, which I'll do it right in front of you guys. I sent flyers to Wisconsin Highway Patrol and to the Wisconsin rest areas. There we go. So just do that underneath the post. That's all you have to do. Oh, you're in the UK. Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, we don't know if he's there, but probably not. Hope not. Hopefully not. But if you live in the States, right? If you live in the States, help if you can. If you're any good at technology, you don't even really have to be that great. If you know how to send an email with an attachment, that's all you got to do, right? I didn't put a whole lot in my emails. I just stated, could you please make sure all of your patrol officers have this flyer? Sebastian Rogers, autistic male, 16, missing, could be being moved. Amber Alert is out for him. Thank you for your time and your help. That's all I put. Right. Yeah. You never know, right? Seth and Chris and Katie have said it, that they still run into people who don't know. And it's been a year. So that's crazy, right? Send to boarding schools, group homes. Yeah. That's awesome, Noni. She said, we've got a Walmart distribution near us with a huge truck stop next to it, and they're almost finished building a hotel for the truckers. I stop in there every time I pass by and make sure they've got flyers. That's awesome. That is really awesome. And every trucker you meet, that's really important because truckers, my husband was a trucker. They're everywhere, guys. They are everywhere. And not only are they everywhere and in truck stops, but if you've never been in a semi truck, okay, you wouldn't know this, except that they're looking at them, they're really tall, but you can see down into people's cars. I'm just saying, when they're going past you on the freeway, you can look down right into their car. It would be possible if Sebastian was sitting by the window for them to see him, if the window's not tinted. So I'm just saying, truckers, that's a good person to have a flyer. In 2024, there were 32,680 reports of missing children in Canada. That's 32,680 children. Too many, in my opinion. Yes, AMC, we do. What do we have? Okay, so I can't show you this receipt, but Katie said, huh, ugh, how do I say this? Um, Evidently, there was dash cam footage of Sebastian being talking as they were driving into the garage that night, coming home from TRH, and she shared that with law enforcement. It's what we're being told. So have we heard it? No. But that's what we're being told, that they have that evidence. Yes. It's true. It's very true. They see everything. I lived on the road with my husband for a while. Um, Never again. Oh, it at first you think it's kind of glamorous, but it's really not. Your life is between truck stop to dock. I mean, you even if you're on the road and you have your 37 hours off, you can't really do anything unless you get a taxi to go do it. Right? Because you can't take the semi downtown, guys. You can't take it anywhere. We have a show on TV here and it's called Without a Trace. They should take this case. Interesting. It's not seen much, but I think there's a lot more that is seen that the parents are looking into instantly. If there's any referrals, COS, schools, police, doctors are all connected and share all info. Yeah, I agree. I'm sure everything was and has been looked into in that respect. Um, I think once Seth realized a few things, he especially, guys, I know that we feel as though Seth has shared so much with us, right? Keep in mind, he has not told us everything. Okay. And I think that's difficult for him because he wants Sebastian's army to know what he knows and, but he doesn't because he knows it would be detrimental to Sebastian's case. So he hasn't told us all. And honestly, I would not want him to. I don't want him or anyone else to share anything with any of us that would be detrimental to this case. Why is the reward so high? Is it because they have a person of interest and expect someone to come forward? I mean, I don't know. We can't read their minds, right? I guess my question is, with the reward being as high as it is, why hasn't anybody come forward? That's a lot of money. So what does that tell me? It tells me that it's family. Or somebody very, very loyal. Somebody who possibly doesn't need the money. I don't know. In Canada, 70% of all resolved runaway occurrences were resolved within 3 days of the person being reported missing, and 95% of all resolved runaway occurrences were resolved within 30 days. Yeah. It's like if police were called for, say, a domestic row and your kids were there, your doctor would know, schools would know, CPS would be at your door the following day. Gotcha. I'm a granny of 6 grandkids, and this is ridiculous. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Why do they keep saying it's only 50K? Who is they? Who are you talking about? Because most people are saying it's 447,000, which is a lot of people. 50,000 is from the FBI. Okay. The rest of the money that's put up has been by Dog the Bounty Hunter and At Night Investigative Agency. So some people don't believe that Dog and At Night will pay that money. I believe they will. Whatever is contained within those 5 CPS reports still has to be a heavy burden of emotion to tote by oneself, if not able to share the info, thereby sharing some of the emotional load. Yeah. Yeah. I heard the power washer incident was reported. Well, I sincerely hope so. I would think so. I bet any neighbor, we know that the neighbors saw that. So I would bet any neighbor would be disturbed to see something and hear something like that. I've had the thoughts that this may not be solved until little ears, such as those that may have attended a poker night, grow up and either tell a friend or finally break down and tell LE. Um, that's always a possibility. I'm sincerely praying and hoping for it to be sooner than that. Um, Here's what I'm hoping for: a new DA. A new DA for Sumner County. Yes, AMC, a neighbor was interviewed early and spoke of the pressure washer. I know, right? Anybody else? If you had CPS reports showing, yeah. Any other town, any other city, any other state. Tennessee is horrific, guys. Rhode Island, that's a charge of neglect. You don't get away with it here. Yeah. Yeah. It's Tennessee, guys. And it is time to vote in a new DA in Tennessee. Sincerely, guys, I'm just going to say, go do your due diligence and research Ray Whitley. General Ray Whitley, District Attorney for Sumner County, Tennessee. It won't take you long to figure it out. And I'm not going to go there because well, you'll know why. Once you Google it, you'll know why I won't go there. Now I know everybody will be Googling him after this, right? Yep, I sure did. Yes. Seriously, I encourage you to do that. Then you guys will understand um why we have no charges in this case yet. I know there are many of you who in this chat have said yes, and Seth doesn't want us going there either. So don't I'm going to tell you guys this. Do not think we can come on here and talk about it after, because we're not going to. Seth doesn't want us going there. He doesn't want us offending anybody. So, you know, it's only for your own personal knowledge if you go there and look at it. Okay. But it is public. Melissa, I'm not gonna talk about that. Sorry. I don't mean to be. I just don't want to say anything. But yeah, it's time for a new election, isn't it? I mean, today was election day in Wisconsin. Is it like that everywhere? Is it election day everywhere in the States, guys? And district judges and that kind of thing? Absolutely, Sam. You see where he's coming from? He wants his son found so he can't rock the boat. Exactly. And think about this, okay? I'm just going to say this and then I'm going to leave it there. When you have got Dog and Tone, or Dog and Nick and Hong with $100,000 hit job out on them, Seth doesn't want anyone, and Seth has had some of his searchers be threatened. Seth doesn't want anyone hurt in this search or investigation of his son. Okay, Seth would never ever want that. So that's why he doesn't want any of us to do any. That has to be left up to the authorities, guys. I mean, I don't know. If they have, they've never shown themselves. All you have to do, AMC, is take a flyer in and ask them to put it up if they don't. When I went into my local one here in Wisconsin, it was already up. That tells you something. So, yeah, all you have to do is take a flyer in there and ask them to put one up if they don't have it in there already. Yeah, and it took a long time before law enforcement started talking to Seth. So, I wouldn't ever not want to be guilty of rocking the boat for Seth and causing law enforcement not to work with him anymore. Because, yeah, I just would not want that to happen. I would never want to do anything that would harm or hurt the investigation to find Sebastian Rogers. I'd be so devastated that I did something like that. It would be horrific. Thank you for sharing that, Ginger's Girl. You can email wheresebastiansarmy@gmail.com for bracelets, t-shirts, and flyers. Yes, K9, it was really good. It was really good. Sad again, I found myself crying through it. But it was a really good documentary. Really good. Couple things missing as far as I was concerned, but for the most part, I mean, It was really good. And I'm glad that that tragedy is being used for good with the Gabby Petito Foundation. Noni, yeah. Um, yes, CJ had his serpentine belt cut. Um, and he wasn't the only one. I think there was another searcher that had a serpentine belt cut. Yeah, I know, right? Kind of interesting. It's almost like a coincidence, isn't it? That's what Chris was fixing that weekend, allegedly. Yeah, I started watching. That's how I got into true crime. Was Gabby Petito's story. I was glued to the television. I didn't even know who Betty was at that time, or JLR. Um, yeah. And that's the thing, Sam and Ginger. And for any of us here, I mean, that's the key. Sumner County residents need to get their act together and vote in a new DA. No DA should ever be in. And I'm not. This isn't even anything against the DA. In my opinion, no DA anywhere in any county in the United States should ever be able to be in office for 40 years. This man is 81 years old. Okay? He needs to retire already. He needs to retire already. So we need to do our part in voting in the right people. Doing our due diligence and our research and voting in the right people, because when cases like Sebastian's comes across the board, you want a DA who's going to prosecute, who's willing to prosecute and do everything that needs to be done. Yeah, I know JLR was there. Definitely. Yeah. We need to have term limits. You know, president is 8 years. I think that's long enough for any position. Any elected position, 8 years should be the max. That's what I think. My opinion. All right, let me stop sharing. I'm wondering if my background has been causing my problems today. April Fool's on me. But my grannyism for today is, if you don't get pranked today, you are either too smart or your friends are too boring. Oh my goodness. So are you too smart or are your friends boring? I don't know which it is for me. I haven't been pranked and I haven't pranked anybody, so your prime minister is canceling Christmas and Easter in schools. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's awful. Oh, that's funny. I saw that today and oh, I gotta, we'll have a funny one tonight. Even when I was posting last night that um, Brenda, Brenda, Joe, and I were okay, and that we'd be back. I'd be back tomorrow. Um, I thought, oh, they're gonna. It's April Fool's Day tomorrow. They're gonna think I'm joking. That's why I put no fooling. You forgot it was April Fool's. People not do that as much anymore. My best one was when I gave my ex a letter from my daughter's private school that said she had been suspended. He hit the ceiling. That's funny. I bet he did hit the ceiling. I don't remember my best one. Couldn't have been very good. Oh, I usually prank my son, but he warned me not to go there today, so we registered to vote in the next fool for April Fool's Day. uh, yeah, I used to prank my husband all the time, but I'm I'm not very good. I start laughing. I can't help it. I could have pranked Brenda Joe. I admit it, I'm the guilty one this year. I pranked every member of my family today, which is so unlike me, but I'm working on overhauling my life and trying to find my spunk again. Good for you, Noni. You had some laughing that you did today then. That's awesome. My other half woke my youngest up and said, "Why has the cat only got 3 legs?" Oh, oh man. Yeah, I could. Um, I just sent Brenda Joe a little video about a child who was pranking their mother. It was like a toddler, and she stuck her whole arm up to her elbow into this bottle and then started crying like she couldn't get out, and the mother came over and then the child pulled her arm out and started laughing. And so I sent that to Brenda, said happy April Fool's Day. Oh. Well, good for you. It's good to laugh, right? It is good to laugh. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys for being here. It's not too late to get out there and prank somebody. You have until midnight. I just might. You never know. um, but have a really good night. Don't forget, guys, share Sebastian's flyer, even if it's just on your, social media pages, guys. Light it up green. Let's not forget what's important here, okay? Hope you have a wonderful night. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.